Live again? Let's see. Yes, but not on YouTube. What is that? Hmm. Let's make sure all of my settings are working again. So that's obviously there. Discord. Let's go pull. No, that should be fine. Alright, so for those who are just joining this stream and did not see the last 25 minutes on the other stream, we are installing Stable Diffusion's latest model, their 1.0 model, XL, and we're doing it with Comfy UI. Now, one thing that you're going to need to do is download, what is this, about 13 gigabytes worth of data, and anything that you may be doing in the background while downloading that will most likely freeze or crash or something of that nature. Um, that is exactly what just happened to me. I was streaming, got every bit of it up to this point, and then these three files right here decided that was too much for my computer. So here we are now. Alright, so now that we've got these files downloaded, we're just going to go open the Comfy window. Guess we're going to go ahead and extract it first, since it's not, or it's still in a zip file. Go hit 7-zip, we'll extract it here. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and move it to my D drive. I'm gonna have to go on mute, Tommy. Got feedback. Alright, we'll see if this will run without crashing anything. Really wish I would have done this for my D drive, but we'll just move it over in just a second before we do anything major. Or maybe I'll find, let me see, where have I got the most memory stored at? That's not what I wanted. Alright, whatever. We'll just go. Why is everything running so slow? Alright, so we got 670 there. We'll just put it on, we'll see if I can put it on E. Just so we don't use up all that C space. Because this takes up a lot more data than some of the other tools that I'm usually playing with. Okay, so maybe my stream can't handle pushing to YouTube. It's running perfectly fine right now, both streams. What you up to, Sir Tommy? Well, you can come off mute to say what you're up to. You don't have to stay on mute for that.
I thought I was giving major feedback. No. Um, oh man, what are you doing, Nick? Fucking around with AI bots?
As always.
Thanks. I know it. So I'm reading, I was in the middle of reading your notes here on this. What is it here? This stability AI generative model shill.
It's not a shield, it's what I'm
Pretty
doing right
interesting.
now.
I'm just fucking with you. Uh, well, what's up, man? I want to create one. Let's go. Where are we at in the process?
Well, just installed all of the packages that I needed, and that's what messed me up. I was running everything, had it all, the stream was going smoothly, and then had with these 13 gigabytes of files downloading, and that crashed every bit of it. So this is stream number two. Now I am extracting
Nice.
it.
I think stream number three will be the winner.
Well, I'm hoping none of this crashes it. I just extracted one of the files and now I'm about to transfer it from the C drive that it's in over to my E drive where I've got more storage just because I want to install everything over there before I actually install anything else further. I should have unzipped it into that drive, but we'll get, it's fine. I can manage. I just wasn't thinking that far ahead that quick.
Gonna bring out the mother drives on this one.
Had to start switching everything over to another drive on my laptop because I used up all the memory on my C drive there. So I was like, all right, so now on both drives, I've got a playground and I've got a projects folder. The playground's where I keep all my AI tools, and the projects is where I keep everything that I build. And so that way I can kind of transfer everything over to E drive a lot easier and not have to worry about using up all my computer's memory. All right, so we just got that installed. However, I would like to push it to my D drive, like I said. So, can I not? I can't drag this to my other half of my screen because it's trying to take it to my second monitor over there. So we'll just do this. All right, so we just downloaded this, and it's right there. Now we'll go storage space E. Let's see. Go ahead and create something new here. Thought I
Are we
had.
going fresh? I'm gonna look at your screen. Are we going fresh now? Is this fresh?
I
Go
mean,
to GitHub. Okay.
if you can go to the Comfy UI GitHub, and if you scroll down, there's a thing called Windows Installer. You'll just click on it, or Easy Installer, and it'll show you what to download. The first step is downloading that, and then extracting it from that zip file. Thought I had a projects folder over here. Evidently I do not. So
The hell did I end up in the weird part of YouTube?
I don't know what you're doing now. Alright, so we got a playground folder right here. This is where I'm going to drag Comfy Portal. May take it a minute here. This is why I should have unzipped it in the E drive instead of C drive, but here we are doing this all over again.
Unzipping file.
You've
Are you doing
already,
the same thing?
no, I'm transferring it now, which you won't have to really do that unless you just specifically want it on a specific drive. Like you need to make sure wherever you're installing it has, you're probably going to need at least 25 gigabytes just to kind of play around a little bit. That's why I'm moving it to my external hard drive where there are several terabyte left to play with.
Is cloud storage available? I mean, can we use cloud storage?
Apparently I can't even. Okay, so we're just gonna stop that. So apparently my Python files aren't copying over, which is confusing. Delete that in. So I'll just install everything as is because I know I can. Probably should have left that open. Let's go open up another file explorer. All right. So we'll just work out of that file itself. So we're going to open up the file we just extracted, and then open up Comfy UI. We're going to go down to, what was it, models, checkpoints, and now these two different large files we just downloaded, just going to drag them over to here, and then drag it over to here, and that's it. That is the installation of Stable Diffusion into Comfy UI. So now we need to actually run Comfy UI to boot it all up. First, though, I want to get their download manager, see if I can find that. They've got another tool that I like, so I'm going to go ahead and install that before I boot it up, just so I don't have to do it again. Oh,
I need Nova up here showing his MacBook screen.
oh, you're doing it from Mac. Yeah, I'm doing it from Windows, so I'm not sure that's going to be a difference. Let's go see if I can find the Comfy UI manager. This looks like it. Yeah. Alright, so there's a couple ways to install this one. I think they had a, yeah, so okay, we'll just open up a terminal and do it that way. So we are in CD drive. We need to go to CD, what's it called? Generative. What do they call this? Models, I think? No. Hold on. There's another way to go ahead and do it. We'll just download the zip. This is the easier way if you don't know how to do command line prompting. Go ahead and close that just to show people this way instead. Alright, that one downloaded a lot easier because it's not near as large. So first, now we've got that open. Let's go back and open up Comfy UI. This time, instead of models, we're going to go to custom nodes. And now we've got the main manager file. Go back to 7-zip. We're going to open the archive here to extract it. You can go ahead and just extract it manually if you don't know how to do this. But we're going to drag this whole folder into the custom nodes folder. And that's it. That's all we need to do right there. Alright, so now that both of those are installed, we'll go back to the Comfy UI window. Oh. So the very first one you open, there's a run NVIDIA GPU. This is for anybody that has an NVIDIA graphics card. If you do not, you'll have to run the CPU version, and it's going to take a lot longer to generate photos. But if you do have the GPU, this is the file that you're going to click. It's going to prompt everything that you need to open it up. This is where most of the packages and modules that you'll need are going to be installed. If you do not already have them installed, it's going to push for that. If there are any issues, it will tell you. Hopefully there are no issues because it's supposed to install everything with the main, well, let's see, there's some more, the main folder you downloaded. All right, there it is. Here we are. This is Stable Diffusion's 1.0 model launched in Comfy UI. Now we can play around with it. One thing about this model in particular is because it's their latest model, it is built on larger files than the older ones. And so like right here, this box right here tells me what size the file that I'm creating is going to be. I'm going to go ahead and change this to 1024 as well as the width change height and width to 1024 because that is the size of the files that most of this is trained on. And then I also know in this K-sampler box, this is basically just a lot more details of how your photo is going to be made. If you'll just click this once and it'll go to Euler Ancestral, it's going to be a little bit better of a engine overall for developing some of these images. All right, so to kind of explain a little bit about what this does. This load checkpoint box right here, this is where you're actually going to load your Stable Diffusion. These are the two files that we downloaded earlier, the very large ones. You can choose between the base model or the refiner. The refiner is one that you run it through just to kind of get a little bit more details than what the base model can provide. It's kind of like that extra last step to give it that push and quality boost. But we're going to start off with a base model here. All right, the first box we have here is your main prompt. We're going to actually, I think we can rename these. Let's see how I do that. Title maybe. Click. Yeah, we'll do main prompt. You can rename it just so you know where to put stuff. And then this is actually not a prompt. Click title again. This is what's called negative prompts, meaning if there is something you definitely do not want in your image, then you can just put it into there, so it makes sure to not use any of that into that image style. Alright. The K-sampler, a little bit more difficult to explain, but you can kind of switch through a bunch of different models of how these things are being trained here. From what I've seen, I haven't played with any of them, or all of them rather yet, but from what I've seen, a lot of the people that do this pretty heavily, they use this Euler ancestral model. So that's one I've been sticking with myself. The decode here, this box, all it does is takes all of the data that was just created from all of this here, and it will turn that into the actual image at the end of it. So it's just that final step of reading the data and then converting it to an image quality. And then this box here, it will just generate the images, and you can kind of see it pop up underneath it once it's done. Alright, so let's try it out. Give me a unique prompt that has nothing to do with anything that we are involved in, Tommy.
Let's go with a rabbit farmer.
A rabbit farmer. Let's see. Let's just say rabbit farm. Lots of carrots. Rabbits. Oops, if I can spell it. Racing. We'll say, what kind of style should we put it in? Unreal Engine, cartoon, anime. Anime would be kind of funny. Anime. We'll say.
Anime, I like the hyper reels, or
Well,
that's
I,
just a
I
two.
like it too, but with this theme, I think it would be extra funny and weird and such. So,
Yeah,
anime
do it, do it, do it.
aesthetics, and then we'll say neon and vibrant colors. All right, so we've got that. We're gonna drag this little button up here, and now we just click on Q prompt. So now you can see it's pulling from the SDXL base. It's got this green box popped up, or a green square around this box. So you can kind of see in real time which part of the process is working. So this green box will transition throughout all of these in order to determine how to create this final product of an image. So all along the process of this image being created, not only can you create that final image, but you can fine tune how that how that image is created overall. So like if you want to, you can take images and actually um, be able to take it and duplicate it again. Say you take a base image and you like the way it was, now you run that image through all of this as if it's the one that's basing its prompt off of, and it can take it even further. So, and this is another part of if you do not have a decently well-equipped computer to run this on, this will take some time because as mentioned, this is a 2080 Ti GPU. It is running on this GPU. This isn't the latest and greatest out there, but it is pretty competitive. So I would say it's a fairly decent GPU still, and we are still on step one. So that's kind of the trade-off is you're the one running all of this data creation versus something like Midjourney where you got to pay 20 bucks a month, but that's because they're the ones creating all of these images for you. That's why you get a limit on the images that you can create because it uses GPU and all this data and bandwidth. So
That's without, I mean, that's crazy. You're reading my brain. I was like, why would someone be opposed to like Dream or, Mid Journey or whatever it may be? Why would someone use this? Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
that's the trade-off really because I can do this for free now all day long, but it's free because I'm installing it and running it on my GPU and I'm the one in charge of all that data. Midjourney just has a really sophisticated engine that does all of it with basic prompting. That's why they're able to charge 20 bucks a month and remain the number one image generation service out there.
Is this gonna be a video or just a picture? Or can you make video or can you make GIFs?
This is going to be just a picture, but there are models out there for creating animations, and you can create GIFs out of it, and or GIFs rather. So that's what I say, and create GIFs off of it. Um, one thing that I'm working on now that I've kind of learned how to do all of this is I'm going to learn how to create the correct images that I want to do, and then start generating a lot of them overall. Start training